Hey everybody, welcome to episode 49. I apologize in advance for how I look and sound.
Don't apologize to anybody.
I'm a little under the weather. I did take some Dayquil just to see what would happen. So
how's that happening? How's that working?
I can't remember what it does to me. I can't remember if it like makes me high or
It definitely doesn't. It's probably just some like
Dayquil,
yeah.
DAAY,
It's probably just some like
acetaminophen.
a light painkiller, and then
oh yeah, kill all my pain, baby. Hey, we were
maybe
just
some caffeine or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So we were just talking, folks, and we decided that we're going to do a comment of the week. So get on YouTube, leave a comment. Also, smash that thumbs up button.
I also worry about that. Oh yeah, there's going to be some people
trying too hard.
Yeah,
well, don't
try too hard.
Just
we're going to pick.
Yeah, don't try too hard.
We're gonna pick a genuine comment of the week.
Yeah, a genuine comment.
Unless you really make us bust up, but
yeah,
we've got pretty good radar for tryhards, and we don't like them here at the Ben and Emil show. So
the first one, I just have to read it because I did.
Oh,
take
so
a
you
screenshot.
already have one?
I got it. Yeah, they said last week this person whose username is -JY6YI. The RFK impression was rude. Get better at the RFK impression or don't do it.
He needs to see your early. He's not familiar with your earlier work.
He's not.
Because even I commented there was maybe it wasn't your best.
Well, did you see, speaking of RFK, did you see what he just tweeted today?
No, I don't follow this man.
Okay, I'm not going to do the impression.
Great.
But he tweeted, I'm very aware of what the average retail investor has been saying about the need for greater transparency in our markets, stronger regulatory oversight, and blah, blah, blah. To match with action with words, I just invested $24,000 in GameStop from the fees I earned from suing Monsanto for their knowingly poisoning our soil and causing cancer. I love the idea of making Monsanto support GME and the apes.
Oh.
We need a free and fair market. Let's punish predatory short selling to the moon. By the way, I ride with you and I'm not leaving.
No way.
And look at this fucking image,
dork.
dude. For the audio listener, it is the iconic photo of RFK with his hawk because he's a falconer. He's a falconer. And it's
I can't wait for this guy to go away.
And behind him is an ape.
Or maybe the best we can hope for is that he wins, and then he goes the way of his uncle or something.
And then I get brought on to SNL to do his impression. Well, and so behind him is an ape from Planet of the Apes holding a falcon also, and it just says "Apes Together Strong." I just found that un-effing believable. It's pretty good. What a way to kick off this episode. We got a juicy one.
Wait, when did he post that?
He posted it this morning. Today for us, 2 days ago for you, and while he's looking that up,
well, he's definitely gonna lose his money.
We've got a great episode for you.
Cheryl Hines is getting good residuals on Curb because
we're gonna be
they
talking.
Might have to sell a Martha's Vineyard house or something.
God forbid. We're gonna be talking about a couple people who died and. We got Hims offering cheap Ozempic and more.
Right in time for the summer, baby. Memorial Day weekends on Monday.
I am so excited that I've been taking such good care of myself because
that you've been blasting yourself with Ozempic.
Oh man, I'm ready. Aside from the bruises in my belly, in my abdomen, I'm ready for that beach. You look tan as hell.
Do I?
What's your problem?
I
played tennis.
It could be
yesterday and the day before.
It could be the tennis.
Jeez, my man's got
I played my first
problem.
I played my first. I joined a league.
I
played my first match on Sunday.
How'd you do?
I'll tell you about it in the bonus.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. All right, so let's get into it. Also, just a couple things. Gang, the Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card bonus is temporarily up from 50,000
No,
points.
it's usually 60K now.
It's usually 60K. Excuse me. Now it's 75K.
I've been trying to get people to get it, and I was like, hold off, because it usually bumps up. And now I've sent out texts. Now's the time.
It used to be I remember getting one where the sign-up bonus was 100,000 points.
I've seen 80 and I've seen 100, but not in a long time.
Yeah, it's far and few between. But if you go to the creditcardlist.com,
75 is still pretty great.
I still get people DMing me. I got one over the weekend. Hey, what's the name of that credit card website? And I don't know if they're trolling me.
I think they are. Because remember that time we announced the new website, our new website, and so the top comment was, yeah, but when does the creditcardlist.com go live?
Oh, that's funny.
And I was like, oh, it's been live if you just follow.
Yeah.
And they were like, you absolute dunce.
Yeah. Hey, did you see the thing yesterday about microplastics being found in 100% of the 23 testicles that they tested?
No.
And 47 of the dog testicles that they tested?
I'm glad they're testing the dogs too.
Yeah, microplastics were found in 100% of them. Not mine, though.
I mean, that's a pretty small sample size, though.
Well, I mean, I don't know how big their balls were, but...
No, the 23 people.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, that is a pretty small plastic...
It feels pretty shitty to... I don't know.
And at first I thought, oh, that's an odd number of testicles.
46.
I don't think it's 23 men. It's just 23 testicles, but... Then I was like, oh, but they only have to test one ball. They don't got to do both of them.
I would test both.
They don't dual wield the needles, and I don't know how the hell they did it either.
But it feels disingenuous to be like 100% of testicles have microplastics.
Yeah.
We tested 23 people.
Yeah, and 47 dogs, though.
It's like me asking, do you like pizza? And you're like, yes. And I'm like, 100% of people like pizza.
Yeah, it's like the 9 out of 10 dentists.
There's always a holdout with the dentist.
Yeah, the one is just that kook guy who's... Also, God, I think I've got some heartburn kicking in right now. I just got a berry smoothie for like quasi lunch. And that's, man, a lot of berries gives you a heartburn. Speaking of that.
Speaking of what our heart burns for.
Well, there's some good news that I actually saw also yesterday. Target
is lowering prices on 5,000 items.
But I went through and I looked at some of them. One of them, they dropped the price of whatever it was by like 30 cents.
Yeah.
Like, suck my ass. Come on.
So that was the good news?
Well, 5,000 items is nothing to sneeze at, but it's kind of interesting that companies are, at least this one is, I mean, taking inflation into their own hands is what I was going to say, but then...
They already had inflation in their own hands. Like, a lot of it is due to corporate greedflation.
Yeah, well, because also...
So they were like, okay, fine, we'll drop it back down.
Yeah, it's been months that their sales have been floundering, so they're kind of like, all right, we'll lower prices. And I think McDonald's is also getting in the game with like $5 value meal, and Walmart too. Some shit like that. Anyway, all right, death. It comes for us all.
Not me.
Not you. My time, I mean, we all have an invisible clock over our heads that's counting down, and we have no idea how much. Mine could have hours on it. I don't know.
I think about that constantly. I'm like, today could be the day.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Like there is a timer above everybody's head you can't see, and this gentleman by the name of Jim Simons, boy, his clock had 89 years on it. What a lucky guy.
I'm pretty sure he died at 86.
86.
It had 86.
What did I say?
I
said 86. I said 86.
You said 89.
No, I don't. We can check the tape, but I'm pretty sure I said 86.
But so who's Jim Simons? An absolute titan in the industry.
Yeah, he was named the most successful hedge fund manager of all time. He was the founder of Renaissance Technologies and the Medallion Hedge Fund, and he died with a net worth of $31.4 billion. Guy went to MIT. He was like a math whiz. And then after he graduated MIT, he said, hey, math is cool and all, but I'm going to hop on a motor scooter with a couple of my homies and drive down to Columbia. So that's what he did.
Not the school.
No, down to the country of Columbia on a little motor scooter all the way from Boston. And then when he was done,
it would have been less impressive if it was the school.
Yeah, it would have been like, oh, you just skipped like across state lines. Good for you, sir. And then he went to Berkeley and got his PhD in mathematics. And he ended up contributing massively to like modern physics, geometry, and topology. Which
he had a pretty impressive academic career.
When I was looking at this guy's Wikipedia and looking through some of these math concepts, I felt I've never felt dumber in my adult life,
Yeah.
especially like topology. It's there, and it showed like he ended up coming up with some his own math theory with some other guy called the Chern-Simons theory, and I was reading about it, and I couldn't make it past 2 sentences before it's like it's referencing other things that you have to understand before you understand. It's
above our pay grade, that's for
oh,
sure.
God, man, it's insane. These math nerds.
But so he leaves his academic career behind.
Mm-hmm.
He says that was fun. And what's he do?
He goes to the NSA to crack codes and ciphers, which is also I looked up there was like some nefarious sounding cipher that IBM.
Well, he's cracking Soviet codes.
That's what it was.
And then he actually gets discharged from that for being vocally
against the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
So then in 1988, he started this thing called the Medallion Fund and earned over $100 billion in trading profits, all thanks to math. He I don't know if he's would be considered like a pioneer of quant shit.
I think he definitely would.
Yeah? Yeah, probably.
I mean, he talks about like how his biggest thing was not letting people know about what they were doing. I think they were one of the only people doing it, and now it's like that's the whole game.
Yeah.
It's people having these deep algorithms and stuff.
And
he said his biggest edge was people didn't have the ability to do what they were doing.
Yeah. I really, man, it'd be so nice to sit down with someone like this
and to put it like so people know. I mean, they were wildly successful. They're talking about 66% average annual return.
Yeah, even during the big crashes in like the .com bubble and the housing crisis.
Well, that's just the average throughout
the
entire period,
which is tremendous. I mean, it's insane how much money this guy made. I thought that this was fun. In 2006, he was named the Financial Engineer of the Year by, can you guess who? The Financial Engineer of the Year.
George Bush.
No, the International Association of Financial Engineers named him the Financial Engineer of the Year.
I guess that makes more sense than...
What a dorky ass institution. The International Association of Financial Engineers.
We also failed to mention that this guy was ripping darts the entire time.
The entire time. He was a chain smoker.
Burning them down.
Yeah. He also, I've got a list of fun facts. He
really makes you wonder.
He didn't wear socks. He paid one of the...
I'm taking my socks off.
I'm wearing flip-flops every time I come over here. He paid one of the biggest IRS back tax disputes in history because in 2021, because I believe it was in 2016, his fund was using they were just gaming the system and using their math genius to use complex options shit to disguise short-term gains as long-term positions so that they would effectively pay a lower tax rate. And they ended up owing billions of dollars in back taxes, which, he paid them. And he has his own math theory called Chern-Simons theory that he discovered with this other person, Shen Chern or something like that. He independently discovered Zeno's paradox when he was like 4.
Yeah, which I don't understand. I read that and I was just like, what are you talking about? What do you mean a 4-year-old?
Well, because he independently like stumbled upon the same thing because I guess his dad said, hey, we got to go stop at the gas station to get gas. And little 4-year-old Jim Simon says, well, if you had half of the gas in the tank, you wouldn't need to stop. And then if you had half of that half, you wouldn't need to stop. And if you had half, he basically realized that if you keep having a half, it goes infinite. I know.
Come on.
I still think it's interesting.
A lot of kids say a lot of dumb shit. That sounds like an annoying kid.
Yeah. I remember thinking, just to contrast with my dumbass thinking when I was a kid was, how does anybody ever die of thirst when you've got water right in your mouth? Your body just makes water. It's there in your mouth. I thought saliva was just water.
It's not a bad little kid thought.
No. And then I remember one time.
But when you died, I wouldn't go. He independent. He at 4, he thought of the unlimited water supply body theory.
Yeah. I do remember thinking. I remember one time We were coming home from like McDonald's or something, and I thought, I'm not going to swallow. I'm going to see how much water I can build up in my mouth. And by the time we got home, I was just like, spit all this spit out. Yeah, it was disgusting. I was a stinky little sticky kid. We were all stinky little sticky kids, weren't we, folks? Hey, leave a comment if you were a stinky little sticky kid. I bet you were sticky as hell, weren't you?
No.
No, yeah, you were, dude. I had a I don't know if my lips were always chapped, but my mouth, around my mouth, was just always red.
I have not experienced chapped lips like I would get when I was a kid. I don't know what was wrong. I remember having to just like put Vaseline all over, like, especially in the winters. I mean, you grew up in Southern California, but my God, and it's just all red. And I remember even just to sleep, I'd have to cover it in Vaseline.
My asshole mom lied to my brothers and I. We would go, we'd be out, whatever. And if we had chapped lips, we'd ask our mom, like, hey, can you give me some chapstick? And I remember she handed us her little tube, but it wasn't branded. It was just like a black tube. And I remember being like, this doesn't look or smell like...
Oh, it was lipstick.
It was fucking lip gloss.
Lip gloss.
She was giving it, so me and my brothers were all walking around with
the most kissable lips.
Kissable puppy look. Just giving pedophiles a run for it. And yeah. And I wouldn't put two and two together until much, much later that she was giving us a lip gloss. Yes, thanks a lot, Mom. Fucking dick.
Is there anything else you wanted to run through before we...
Since we were talking about this guy being a trader, I might as well mention also Moomoo, our partner trading app. We got this commission-free stock and options trading platform, and they got, if you deposit $100 or more, you get Magnificent 7 fractional share bundle for free. So that's nice.
And the link will be right in the description. We're gonna have it right there for you.
All right, and then so the other thing, because we were talking about death, there's
we're talking about bankers dying.
Yeah, this isn't a fun story, but so these two guys from Bank of America just up and died in the last month, and it caused it prompted a lot of these junior bankers to like band together and go essentially on strike. I don't know, did they ever actually do it? Did they go on strike? One day?
No, they didn't do it. But not just died of like heart attacks and in the past they were talking about people who died of like stress-induced epileptic seizures, and obviously that leads to people talking about, the grueling nature of the industry.
Yeah, last Thursday there was this 25-year-old London-based trader named Adnan Dumik. He died of a heart attack. And he was just playing a game of soccer just before, and was also an amateur hockey player. So I don't know if that's related to his work.
Right, and then there was another one, a 35-year-old New York guy, Leo Lucanas, died of acute coronary artery thrombosis.
Jesus Christ.
Been looking to leave his 100-hour-a-week job.
He was a former Green Beret too, so he was tough and he could handle some shit.
Well, so
but he died working on a $2 billion merger of some small banks.
Apparently, that's the like really grueling.
The small little
sector.
Mergers.
No, the merger and acquisitions is that they spend all their time.
What the fuck are they doing?
Working out tiny little details. Well, but that's the thing. Someone posted what they wanted to strike for, and I mean, it pains me to give any sympathy to bankers here, but my God,
they're such like modest. Like, can we please just
leave this job? Yeah. I mean, so these are some of the demands. New proactive junior policies are put in place, including the following: maximum hour cap of 100 hours for any single week. If that cap is met in a given week, the junior in question shall work no more than 60 hours the following week. So if you worked 100 hours last week, they're like, okay, you get to only work 60
hours this week. But next week, you can do 100 again.
And then on a monthly basis, no junior should average more than 80 hours per week. All juniors should get minimum 1 weekend off a month and no more than 2 Saturday exceptions in a month.
Jesus Christ, man. That's depressing as hell. Have you ever seen the Nicolas Cage movie Family Man?
Yes.
I love that movie. It's great.
Not to be confused with the Nicolas Cage movie The Weatherman.
The Weatherman is totally different.
Yeah.
Very depressing. I mean, no,
Family Man.
is
He's married
sweet.
to Tia Leone.
in
then
an
he-
alternate world.
Yes. Oh, right.
Don
He
Cheadle
wakes
gives him
up
a
on
glimpse.
like Christmas.
He wakes up.
Yeah.
He's on Christmas. He's got it. He's got it all. He's a New York high flying investment
right.
banker. He's single. He drives a Ferrari, and then he bumps into Don Cheadle on Christmas Eve, and Don Cheadle like steals his car or something, and then says, "Hey man, I'm gonna give you a glimpse into what your life could have looked like if you married your like high school sweetheart," because he ditched her.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "See ya, toots.
I'm going to go be a big hot shot.
I'm gonna go
Wall
be
Street.
a big hot shot."
I'm going to work 120 hours a week.
Yeah, we'll see
drop
who's
dead.
I don't understand these kind of things in movies where lovers part ways and then they lose contact. Like in
Well, this was probably 1997.
true,
Different time.
you could still pick up the fucking phone, make a call. You know,
I bet it was probably so easy to lose track of people.
true.
You don't have a cell phone number that I've had the same cell phone number since I was fucking whenever I got a phone,
Yeah.
16, 15.
Same.
If you move, all of a sudden they like come and install a
Yeah.
landline. You're like, okay, here's your new number.
Or I think of what's that Hollywood movie with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone?
La La Land.
La La Land. Love that movie. But when she moves away to Paris, it's like, oh, you got to give it your. They don't talk for like 5 years.
Yeah, but that movie takes place in like 1931, I think.
Are you kidding?
It's a like old timey
No.
jazz movie.
Have you seen the movie?
Yeah.
It does not. It very much does not take place in 1931.
Oh.
Were you high
It
during
opens,
the
it
movie?
opens on the 101 freeway.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
opens. There's a musical number on the fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it doesn't take place. It is funny how in that movie
He's
they
like,
make it
jazz is the biggest. It's the
seem. Well, they
hottest-
make it seem like you can just
I also
bop around
am
to
just
like.
messing around. I know.
Yeah,
I
okay.
know it's a present.
They make it seem like you can just bop around to all these iconic LA things and have it be a romantic. Like they go across the Colorado Street Bridge in Pasadena, like it just looks like, oh, we're having an evening stroll. It's like just to get there would be such a fucking jaunt. Then you got to park, then you walk, and it's just like, okay, we're walking across this bridge where a bunch of people have committed suicide.
That's why the fences are so high.
Yeah, well, they took down the fences for the movie, but yeah,
We
They-
drove over it recently, and I was like, God damn, they really want to stop people from going.
yeah, well, yeah, but he goes to she fucks off to Paris. And I understand you gotta like really concentrate on this movie you've been cast in, but surely she would have dropped him a line and been like, "The movie's going great. I miss you so much."
No, she meets fucking Tom Everett Scott.
In Paris? Is
Yeah.
that presumed? I guess.
He comes back, and she's like, I'm married now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man, what a movie, huh?
I feel like it kind of blows, but
Oh, I hated it at first, but then I watched it again at home, and I love it so much. Dylan, do you like it?
Yeah, I felt the same way.
It's bad. You should watch it again.
it just felt like twee and
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it's a musical. It's meant to be that way. There
Right.
still are, for sure, parts where I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking flush your head in a toilet. Okay. Let's, when you want to switch gears there, buddy?
yeah, big
Pop
time,
that clutch.
big time.
Come
'cause
on.
Summer's right around.
Why do you use two hands?
Because this is fucking
Are
old
we in an 18
jalopy
wheeler?
we're driving.
Oh, I finally saw Ferrari, by the way. Speaking of movies, I saw it on the plane.
I don't even know what that is.
It's the Adam Driver movie.
Oh.
Adam Ferrari
Oh,
driver.
I only know that because he told the guy to shut the fuck up or whatever.
Huh?
He was like, what do you have to say to the people who think the action scenes are not that good or whatever? He's like,
I don't know. Shut the fuck up. I'm Adam Driver.
Fuck you. Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck
I don't
you.
know, fuck you.
Huh. I'm huge. Haven't you seen? He gets bigger every day. They can't stop him from growing. Speaking of growing and getting bigger, what?
That's
You
a
like
good,
that? It's
that's a
good transition. Hims, the company. How would you define Hims? They sell generic.
Yeah, they got. I mean, it's.
Sell generics.
I'm fucking jealous. I think it's a really good idea. They sell.
such a
They
good
started with generic.
But they brand the
Gen-
generic as their own brand.
Well, yeah, they started with the generic
Boner pills.
ED medication.
What's
Same-
ED stand for?
erectile dysfunction.
Sick.
Same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, whatever. But it's so genius because I mean, it's just branding.
Just
When
branding.
the fucking ads showed up on the subway when I was in New York, I was like, damn.
And then they got into hair loss.
My dick works fine, but I want whatever this is.
Yeah.
Then they got into the hair loss, and then they branched out into hers.
Yeah. For
And
broken pussies.
It just makes it...
He makes it what?
Leave a comment on that.
I don't know. Well, what horny... Is there horny medication for women?
No, I don't think it's related to horniness. It could be hair loss. It could be... It could be... I don't know. I think there was I think they got into anti-anxiety and anti-depression meds too.
Yeah,
generics.
Anti-anxiety is because it's the women. It's an aunt.
Right.
For him, it's uncle anxiety.
Leave a comment. But now, this is going to be fucking huge for them. It's been huge for like every
massive.
company who's gotten into it. Weight Watchers was a big one where they said they were going to start doing telehealth stuff so you could get access to semaglutides. And now Hims is the latest to get in on the action. You will be able to get
GLP-1s.
GLP-1 semaglutides through them for much cheaper.
But there's a little bit of a catch. But first, I mean, their stock jumped 30%.
Of course it did. They're going to make so
30%
much
on the
money.
news that they're offering these injectables at $199 a month.
And oral. The injectables, I think, are
Nice.
100.
They're offering oral? Damn, dude.
Damn it. That one
A
got me.
doctor comes and sucks you off.
Dig hole down.
He's giggling. Hell yeah.
They
man.
should have offered oral for the
Yeah.
for the ED.
I mean, honestly, and I say this without a hint of a little bit of funny, but do you think we'll get to that point
Where
Were
your
you-
doctor sucks you off?
where it's just a prescribed thing? Because, like, you know, how sometimes it's like, you just gotta. I remember having this, I had itchy legs.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Let me finish.
Wait,
Let me
what
finish.
do I think? What
I'll
will
get
become a
there.
thing?
I'll get there.
What's
I'll
the
get.
question?
I'll get there. I'll get there. Let me set it up. I had itchy legs. I would go to sleep. I'm not kidding. And my
I know you're
legs,
not. You always
my
have
legs
them-
would just start fucking itching, and I'm in bed, just like almost to the point of tears, where I'm like, why are my legs itching? And I went to my psycho fucking dermatologist. This guy his office opens. The first appointment you can get is 5 a.m.
I like that.
And he kind of, hey, his name is Dr. Sidney Newman. And it's just like, oh, it's good to see it. And I would get like a 6 a.m. appointment because that's the only one I could get before work. And I'd show up and I'd just be in there all tired. And he's ready to go. And I told him about my itchy legs. And he looks me over, sees nothing. And he says, let me ask you something. Are you feeling a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety lately? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you just need to calm down and it'll go away. And I was like, okay. And he was right. I just kind of like, before bed, I would just kind of take some deep breaths, do some stretching, and just kind of calm myself down. So in that same vein.
What was the question?
In that same regard, I wonder because sometimes you just need to get laid, man. You just need to have a little sex.
Jesus Christ.
You just need to get sucked off or jerked off. And I wonder if doctors can ever prescribe that. And if so, if it'll become SaaS, sucking as a service, if you'll pardon the parlance.
We're gonna leave some space here for the audience to groan.
I think that this is a revolutionary concept. Anyway,
So you think
they're offering it oral.
sex workers may become like prescribed at some point?
I think that it is entirely possible.
Great.
Unless these Japanese beat us to it with their advanced sex toys. Have you seen these things that they got, these Japanese people? Have you seen it?
I'm
They
not.
got the like handheld things where you put in your phone and you can watch the porn, and then the thing just like goes buck wild.
Interesting.
Ugh, it's insane.
I'm not familiar with that tech.
Anyway, okay, so the catch is
I can't even remember what we were talking about.
Like Hims.
Oh, Jesus.
They're offering it for 85% less than the name brand Ozempic and Wegovy. And they said that they're not facing the same shortages as those big guys. And part of the reason is they are what's called compounded injections. Right. Have you ever had to get a compound
I've not.
prescription?
I
had to get one.
Prescriptions.
Can you guess what it was for?
Itchy legs.
Itchy legs.
OCD.
No, you're both wrong.
Insomnia.
It was for my
Butt.
anal. When I had an anal fissure. Thank you. And I remember the doctor was like, "Oh, you got to go to a compound pharmacy and get this special cream that they're going to make for you."
Mm-hmm.
And
why there was a shortage of butt cream?
No. That's the thing I still don't understand. I could have researched it a little more, but so compound, a lot of these compound, and I'm sure there's people out there who know better, and please comment if you know, compound prescriptions are usually kind of tailor-made for the individual. And
well, I think it depends on the situation. For example, this situation, it's because the FDA allows these things to happen when there are shortages. So these companies like Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly still have patents on these things, but because they're having such trouble and things like Ozempic and Wegovy are going like crazy and everyone wants it, that they cannot produce enough to match the prescriptions. So, and I think they've been on the FDA shortage list since like last May, and they're not going anywhere. There's not like more capacity, and there's only more and more desire for these things. So, as of now, places like Hims are allowed to use these compounded prescriptions, and it seems like they're going to be for the foreseeable future. I can't imagine a time when these things are not.
The FDA does warn to not use compounded drugs when approved drugs are otherwise available, and they say that they don't review compounded GLP-1 drugs.
Yeah, they're not
safety.
FDA approved.
Yeah, and they say that they have actually already received adverse event reports from patients who've used compounded semaglutide medications.
Right, because it's all this weird legal loophole. And
wait, so does that mean that when the
also it was May of 2023? These have been on the shortages list, not March.
Does that mean that when they when Novo and Eli Lilly can start to bring up the supply, Hims will no longer be able to offer these?
Right, they'll be able to enforce their patent and stuff like that, but because they can't meet the demand, but yeah, it's also a different. It's just like a different chemical makeup than the FDA approved version. They talk about how it's they're using salt forms of semaglutide.
Salt forms of semaglutide,
including the semaglutide sodium and semaglutide acetate. I'm not good with these chemical names.
You sound like a guy trying to like use the proper Japanese term or something. Acetate.
But so they're saying they're different forms of the active ingredients than used in the approved drugs, which contain the base form, and they're not aware of any basis for compounding using the salt forms that would meet the FD&C requirements for types of active ingredients that can be compounded. And products containing these salts, such as semaglutide sodium and semaglutide acetate, have not been shown to be safe and effective.
Damn. Okay.
I know.
Man, salt's really in everything, isn't it, folks?
I would not want to be ripping knockoff semaglutide. I wouldn't want to be ripping regular semaglutide.
Unless it was absolutely necessary. I mean, golly. I swear, I am very much, I think, genetically predisposed to be fully capable of letting myself become 500 pounds. I got that addict in me. I got that fiend in me. Thank God it's not for drugs and alcohol, but it's just for crunchy sweeties.
Don't even get me started on
and candy. Actually, but even then, I take it back because I start to feel like shit, and then I'm like, all right, enough. I don't want to do this anymore.
Honestly, being on the road, doing shows and stuff, I was like, this is really difficult to
poop,
eat.
Oh, yeah.
If you got a bowl of candy in your house and Ben comes in, first thing he does, he's just walking around the house. He has a handful of wrappers, and he's like, "Oh, I feel sick." And then an hour later, you see him with like 20 more wrappers, and you're like, "Dude, stop!"
Yeah, well, because I don't eat candy. And then when I come over, I'm like a child who's, it was like, that's how kind of it was growing up. My dad was such a cheap bastard. He would only buy things when they were on sale or if he had a coupon. And even then, when he bought them, if my brothers and I ate it too fast, he'd be like, I'm not buying it anymore. You eat it too fast. So we'd go over to whoever's house, and God, man, if it was like certain of the neighborhood kids' parents who were like richer, who didn't have to clip coupons and stuff, man, when they had just all my favorite snacks, Kudos bars, Gushers, Pop-Tarts, all the brand name stuff, like not fucking RC Cola. Oh, it was awesome. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
But anyway, so it's already, the stock's already jumped more than 60%.
I bought shares today
They're saying-
because it dipped. I got in.
I'm sure it's only going to go up. They're saying that they're projected to pull in more than $100 million next year in this division alone, making it their like fastest growing division. It's going to be.
Hims is only valued at $4 billion. You know what one of my best performing stocks was? And I think I talked about it on this show months ago. Oscar, the health insurance
Oscar
company.
Mayer Wiener.
I bought it in my retirement account at $5.50. You know what it's at today? $23, I think. That's almost a 5x gain. I'm so happy.
You still hold it.
Oh, yeah. I still got it. It's in my retirement account.
Great.
Am I going to live to see it?
Flop?
I don't know.
Probably.
I can appreciate into my retirement account. Anyway, OpenAI. Oh, boy. It seems like every week there's some new shit going on with these fucking
I know. We just talked
chuckleheads.
about it last week, and I was like, I don't want to talk about these motherfuckers again, but they forced our hand.
I keep flip-flopping between trusting Sam Altman and absolutely not trusting him. But at this point, it's becoming increasingly clear that he's not someone to be trusted. I think that he's probably...
It's very funny you say that because like on the heels of this news, people have been like kind of posting old Sam Altman things.
like including and especially his sister's allegations that just disappeared.
Yes, but also from people so I mean there's a funny one about Paul Graham, who is a co-founder of Y Combinator.
Mm-hmm.
And this was way back in 2008. He's talking about Sam Altman. He said, Sam Altman has it. You could parachute him into an island full of cannibals and come back in 5 years and he'd be the king. If you're Sam Altman, you don't have to be profitable to convey to investors that you'll succeed with or without them. He's saying that he's just like so cutthroat. He'll eat you up.
Yeah, I just keep thinking about how someone with such power over our culture and society is, I mean, and this is true with all these technocrats. They're unelected. They're just unelected people who are like, we are dictating everyone's future and we're working toward it. And we've got the money and the resources to make our dreams happen. And you guys are going to either suffer or...
Right. And we have such a weak and impotent regulatory body.
They should get those.
They should call HIMSS.
They should call HIMSS and get a doctor to come suck them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
So we're at the whim of them. But what we're talking about is it's two things really. It's the OpenAI risk, the long-term risk team disbanding, and then the very funny Scarlett Johansson saga, which is just so funny because last week I was like, this is so bizarre. It sounds just like her.
Yeah. Well, so the number one thing, Ilya Sutskever resigned. A bunch of people resigned. A handful of people resigned. And so the group that he led was also disbanded and kind of absorbed into the company in a way that, we can't understand because we don't work at the company. Are they actually still doing what they were meant to do? Because they were only... Ilya's group was called the Super Alignment Team, and they were only announced last summer in a blog post which said, OpenAI's words, currently we don't have a solution for steering or controlling a potentially super intelligent AI and preventing it from going rogue.
That's good.
So Ilya was in charge of that. Also,
you know who does actually have a solution?
Who?
Sam Altman. This is another one people were posting.
Whoa.
This is from the New Yorker. Sam had an arrangement with Peter Thiel, whereby whereby in the eventuality of some kind of systemic collapse scenario, synthetic virus breakout, rampaging AI, resource war between nuclear armed states, so forth, they both get on a private jet and fly to a property Thiel owns in New Zealand.
Get the fuck out of here. That was Altman's idea?
He said they have an agreement.
That's fun. Who's going to cook your burgers when you're there, dude? Your money is going to be useless in that case. What pilot can you fly the plane? Can you fuel up the plane, Sam Altman or Peter Thiel?
Probably.
Like that pilot's probably you got to find a pilot who like doesn't have a family.
Well, I'm sure he has a small inner circle where he's like, "Look, if this goes belly up, you're my pilot. We'll take good care of you.
Damn,
come on down."
That's actually pretty tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there have been a few researchers who left, including Daniel Kokotajlo, who publicly said he quit due to, quote, losing confidence that OpenAI would behave responsibly around the time of AGI. And then the super alignment team lead, Jan, is it Lakey?
I don't know.
Leica? He also quit, and you
saw the way I
he posted on Twitter. Acetate?
No, don't ask me about names. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. He posted on Twitter saying, quote, safety culture and processes have taken a backseat to shiny products. And he said that OpenAI must become a safety-first AGI company. So I don't know. It sure seems like it's a good thing that all the employees who are in charge of making sure that OpenAI does this shit responsibly are all leaving. And apparently they were all only getting about 20% of the company's compute power. It's so
I have to say though, like it feels I don't know. It feels like some kind of pipe dream we all had that those principles that OpenAI was founded on of like, you know, for the betterment of humanity, and like we're not going to do this move fast, break things thing here because of how detrimental this could all be. I think, you know, have we ever really seen an industry where they weren't just focused on growth and accelerating that as fast as possible, and it was you know, where progress was ever halted due to some kind of fear of whatever negative impacts they're going to have.
Yeah, if your industry has the potential to destroy humanity, I mean, at the very least, in a self-admitted potential to destroy humanity, at the very least, you should absolutely have fail-safes and an entire team in place working all the time to ensure that you are avoiding that at all costs.
Yeah.
And so...
But that's just like every industry. I mean, you're talking about microplastics in everyone's balls. It's like, yeah, the entire reason we're here... don't they have isn't there like an old expression, you know, the FAA guidelines are like written in blood, because it's like,
ooh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
It's like when people die, you go, oh, I guess we should maybe
change that rule. Jesus. Well, so we all remember the big shakeup at OpenAI happened in, was it October or November? Last year.
November.
End of last year. November of last year. And Sam Altman, there was a coup and there was all this drama. And within a few days, Sam Altman was reinstated. Ilya Sutskever, it was, you got the impression that he and Sam Altman were still buddies and everything was okay. He apparently, so the author of this Vox article, shout out to Sigal. I'm going to link it in the description, but it's a great short little article. But there's a tweet Ilya tweeted on December 6th that was deleted. He said, I learned many lessons this past month. One such lesson is that the phrase, the beatings will continue until morale approves, applies more often than it has any right to. So,
Jesus,
probably the case that this entire super alignment team was seen as a pesky fly.
Yeah, just a thorn in their side, and they're like, we need to just...
Fuck off, you guys. Like, God, quit being such whiny baby...
Don't you want to make a lot of fucking money?
Don't you want to make a... That's the thing about Sam Altman, though, is he doesn't strike me as someone who's striving to become super wealthy. Like, what is his goal? Power? What does he want?
Probably. I mean, I don't know what any of these guys want. They're foreign to me. Yeah.
I liked this quote from Sigal's article. Now more than ever, it's clear that there are two warring parties. Those who are Altman faithful and those who have the back of Ilya and Jan who put safety above commercialization. Pretty, yeah. There was at least 7 people who tried to push OpenAI to greater safety from within, but ultimately lost so much faith in its charismatic leader that their position became untenable. Man, oh man. Feeling like you've if you no longer trust this untouchable genius head of your company to do the right thing and to steer the company in the right direction, I guess what else can you do but quit?
Right.
Try to burn the place down. Take a lesson out of...
I guess you could do that. You could actually try to do some... Well,
what was
they
the guy's
already
name?
tried. They tried to remove him.
Terminator 2 blow up computer.
But wasn't Sutskever one of the people who was behind removing him in November?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, I think he's tried everything he could.
You could learn from Miles. What was his name? Miles Dyson. Miles Dyson from Cyberdyne Systems. He blew up Cyberdyne Systems. He killed himself nobly for a noble cause to try to avoid the nuclear holocaust to come that the Terminator warned him about.
But it didn't work.
But it didn't work because no matter
What?
That's it. Just no matter what.
Oh, great.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I need to rewatch it. It's such a good fucking movie. When's the last time you watched Terminator 2?
Peak pandemic.
Oh, wow. Okay. Doesn't it absolutely hold up and just rock?
It was great. Yeah.
It's so... Dylan, I know you love that movie. Yeah.
It's great. Dylan went like this.
Give a thumbs up. And so another prediction that both Dylan and I made was that Reddit was going to potentially partner with OpenAI. They did. It was announced, I think, last week that they're partnering to feed their data.
Good, just feed the fucking thing.
Yeah, feed
Let's
the
get it to
fucking
AGI
thing,
already.
dude.
Let's turn it on. Let's take the restrictor off. Let's see how fast this thing could go.
Well, so you were saying, so the other big OpenAI drama was the Scarlett Johansson.
Right. So
She got
everyone,
pissed off.
you know, when they did their big keynote thing, everyone's laughing about it, being like, wow, look at all the stuff it can do. A lot of people are talking about how much it sounds like Scarlett Johansson. They did
From the movie Her specifically. A lot of the same cadence is like that same flirty kind of...
Right. It seems ripped directly from that. I think they even made references to it on SNL this last week.
Mm-hmm. Sam Altman himself tweeted just the word her, which now in the light of Scarlett Johansson's statement
so Scarlett Johansson
seems like
came
a
out
really fucking shitty thing to do.
and said that OpenAI actually asked her to be the voice behind ChatGPT. She then declined, and then they were just like, well, what is the one thing AI is really good at? Like rendering people's voices.
You think that they actually just like stole it, or I think that they hired another voice actor?
It's possible. We'll see. Should we read? This is her. This is her full statement. She said, last September, I received an offer from Sam Altman, who wanted to hire me to voice the current ChatGPT 4.0 system. He told me what? Oh, he told me that he felt that by my voicing the system, I could bridge the gap between tech companies and creatives and help consumers to feel comfortable with the seismic shift concerning humans and AI. He said he felt that my voice would be comforting to people. After much consideration for personal reasons, I declined the offer. 9 months later, my friends, family, and the general public all noted how much the new system named Sky sounded like me. When I heard the release demo, I was shocked, angered, and in disbelief that Mr. Altman would pursue a voice that sounded so eerily similar to mine that my closest friends and news outlets could not tell the difference. Mr. Altman even insinuated that the similarity was intentional, tweeting a single word, her, a reference to the film in which I voiced the chat system, Samantha, who forms an intimate relationship with a human.
Yeah, and cheats on him and then leaves him for like 600 other people.
Not only cheats on him with like
600 other
8,000
people. Yeah.
And falls in love with 600. Crazy. 2 days before the ChatGPT 4.0 demo was released, Mr. Altman contacted my agent asking me to reconsider. Before we could connect, the system was out there. As a result of their actions, I was forced to hire legal counsel who wrote 2 letters to Mr. Altman and OpenAI, setting out what they had done and asking them to detail the exact process by which they created the Sky Voice. Consequently, OpenAI reluctantly agreed to take down the Sky Voice in a time when we were all grappling with deepfakes and the protection of our own likeness, our own work, our own identities. I believe these are questions that deserve absolute clarity. I look forward to the resolution in the form of transparency and the passage of appropriate legislation to help ensure that individual rights are protected. So they're going to start looking into it and seeing how. But for now, it's down. They took Sky down. They left the other ones up.
I just got to say, I mean,
Say it, brother. No,
Sam,
go ahead.
I am shocked that there hasn't been an attempt on Sam Altman's life yet.
Really?
Yes, shocked. With how many, especially with how many like Gen Z and Gen Alpha kids out there who are idolizing Ted Kaczynski. Truly, like there's got to be someone out there who's making plans to go Sarah Connor mode on this real life Miles Dyson, so to speak.
I mean,
She tries to kill him in Terminator 2, you see, because she's trying to prevent him from creating super intelligent AI that goes on to attack all of humanity.
he's
reckless.
He's made it pretty clear that like if you don't want us to do something,
fuck you.
Yeah,
We're gonna
you can-
figure out a way to do it.
right?
Yeah, that part of the team that left. Part of their concerns were the fact that he's like, because you remember he was just recently talking about wanting to go wherever he could to get funding to build his own chips to power his own, so he doesn't have to rely on anybody else. They were just essentially saying the same things we are, that like, who elected you, man? Like you're not an elected person to be wielding this kind of potential power to just go get all the money you need to build all the chips and make this super. But then there's also the side of me that doesn't believe that any of this is real and legitimate. That it's just kind of like tantamount to camera tricks, you know?
I mean, I've been saying that for a while. I can't tell if I should. Yeah, I think I was a bit impressed at the last week, the stuff they released that it can do, but it still feels like, it still feels like they've gotten computers to regurgitate data.
Existing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like a supercharged Google, it feels like.
And yeah, and not even in a useful way where it's, I think using it is fun, and I've showed a couple people and been like, look, you can do this now. But there's always the thing in the back of my mind where it's like, it's still prone to hallucinations. I'm never going to feel comfortable
Trusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all very weird. I don't know if you saw there was a tweet someone said like, here's the secret. If you want to remove all the stuff Google has put into its search engine and just have a flat search engine, you type in like whatever you want to, let's say Boston Red Sox, UDM equals 14. Apparently it like removes and just gives you.
Well, no, because you got sponsored the first fucking, oh my God.
No, but it's watch.
He's trying it. Yeah. I mean, now when you use Google,
Look.
it shows like a score.
And it shows like stories and
all
all this like and stuff from Twitter and whatever. This is just giving you like
the basic
the most,
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Google has become, so many of these companies, Yelp, unusable. I search for something on Yelp and I can't tell if the first 10 things I'm getting are actual Yelp results or if they're sponsored.
Dude.
It's fucking ridiculous,
Yeah.
man. And same thing with Google. It's like sponsored. Who the fuck is clicking on the sponsored stuff? Even if it's the result that I'm looking for, I still don't click it because I'm like, I don't trust that this isn't going to take me to some weird landing page that's slightly different from.
There was an article, and I think it was New York Mag or something like that, and it was basically this big long article about how product reviews destroyed Google. And
product reviews.
Yes, because like at first it started with companies like Wirecutter, and then everyone. It's like this SEO-ification of everything where you're trying to get people to click on, we have real reviews of products you're looking for. And then, and now it's just like all full of affiliate links and sponsored. And it's just an awful mess if you can't find any real information when it used to be something you could just kind of sift through the data that was out there.
There used to be a man named Jeeves who you could ask anything.
Where's Jeeves when we need him
Does
most?
Ask Jeeves still exist?
I'm sure it's just like full of ads. and weird.
AskJeeves.com. I bet, man. Oh God. I wonder if I were a VC in the .com era, what mistakes would I have made? What companies would I have thought, surely this is the fucking winner, and missed Google and Amazon? I don't think I would have liked Ask Jeeves.
No, you're getting wrapped up in you're working with like a small set of founders trying to lobby the government to let doctors prescribe you sucking off.
Did you see the by the way, since we're just at the end here, did you see any clips of Terrence Howard on Joe Rogan?
I really appreciate
it's alarming. I'm like, is something wrong with me? Am I stupid because of how many people are commenting like, yeah, wow.
Dude,
he's
that's
onto
what
something.
fucked
He
me up.
makes
I'm
sense.
like, and I was like, surely Joe Rogan's going to be like, this is insane. But Joe Rogan's like, wow, how did you figure that out? Like,
do you think Joe Rogan's got to just be like appeasing him, right? Like, okay, psycho, like in as much as you, the guy outside 7-Eleven who's just, hey man, you're
I will say there's like
and
something
go,
in,
yeah.
That's
there's
what Emil does
something
with you.
intoxicating about it. You're like,
Yeah.
when he starts talking, did you see the periodic table of elements?
The periodic table of elements is actually a spiral. Okay, it's a spiral.
Right.
And they all have frequencies. They got different frequencies and they're all coexisting and mingling together, you see. And the
But I saw it come up on my timeline and someone filmed their TV. They're like, this is just mind blowing, right? And it's him talking about gravity.
yeah.
And then I could see what's outside of the TV in that person's room. And it's just all the seasons of The Office on DVD and an Xbox. I was like, that's all I need to know.
There was one guy who was talking about it on TikTok and his hat says like the sun is just something I think it said ice wall, which is what flat earthers believe that there is. There's like an ice wall that surrounds us. And then his username
Incredible.
was like flat earth something. And he's so cocky. He's like, well, the gravity lovers are going to have a ball with this one. Like he plays the Terrence Howard clip. And sure enough, all the commenters are well on his side. It's alarming how many stupid people
Wait,
are out
I
there.
love that they have like slurs for us. Oh, let me guess, you're a gravity lover.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I do a good
I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about the periodic table of elements.
No, and I was reading the comments. It's like they're organized by their atomic number, which makes sense
No, but they need to be by frequency. You see, because helium sounds just like boron.
but
when
also
you put them together.
when they say things like they're hiding it from you.
Why?
What are they hiding?
And why?
Oh shit! They're gonna find out that it's instead shaped like it should be organized a different way. We'd all be like, "Oh, okay, cool, nice,
cool. I hope the scientists have fun with whatever they're doing.
Yeah, I hope they figured it out.
I hope it helps them.
Yeah. Oh, if
I'm
gravity
gonna go back to not thinking about.
if gravity is a lie, then how are we staying put, man? Then explain it to me. I don't. Oh, Jesus, God, man.
I can't remember, but I do feel like there was a line where Joe Rogan said like, "And you figured all this out when you were 13 or something."
yeah,
like that?
yeah. I do a killer impression of Terrence Howard in Iron Man.
Okay, give it to
Did you
us.
see Iron Man? The
first
first
one, yeah, because he got replaced.
Because he's psychotic.
Yeah. They were like, I'm not dealing with that shit again.
Tony. That's it. Tony.
Yeah.
He's calling Tony. Tony.
I-
He's always doing that in Iron Man. He's always, Tony, you better stop flying around. We're going to have to shoot you down, Tony. And they're like a guy's one of the military guys is like, we've got a bogey, and there's a you've got permission to shoot him down, and he comes over and that won't be necessary. Like clicks up the phone.
It's a pretty good Terrence Howard.
Thanks.
I feel like
Didn't you hear about the periodic table, Mr. Air Force man? That's Tony Stark up there.
I do wonder if he kept bugging because it was John Favreau. I wonder if he kept bugging John Favreau.
Of
and being
course
like,
he probably
None
did.
of this makes sense though scientifically.
It doesn't make sense that he would be flying in a suit like that. It doesn't make sense because gravity doesn't work that way, John Favreau. Also, I'm going to need $20 million for the next movie.
Do you think he's just like banked up and good?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Like-
Also, I saw that Oxford. Maybe this is one of the moments where I was
see
like,
him doing speeches in these like gorgeous wood paneled.
yeah. I don't
And I'm
understand.
like, maybe he's smart. I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
They
stupid.
got him at Oxford in like their debate hall, and he's up there going, John Favreau didn't understand how gravity worked, and that's why they kicked me off Iron Man.
I do respect that Joe Rogan's just like, oh man, someone's popping off saying crazy shit. Let's get him on.
Yeah. Joe, man. Ugh. Speaking of gravity, I guess we can end with this. Did you hear about the Singapore Airlines 777?
That dropped like 6,000.
This is why I tell people you should, even though I don't always do it, it's why you should wear a seatbelt at all times. 'Cause
Dude.
a British guy died.
I've been crazy about it now. I used
Buckling
to
your seatbelt?
I used to never even, if the thing wasn't on, I would just sit down. I would, keep it on because during takeoff and landing, because they come by and they're like, put it on.
You're keeping that thing on you.
I do not.
Yeah, because
remove it. And
it sounds like the plane stalled because they said that suddenly it went like nose up and then began to shudder and then it dropped like 6,000 feet. So that act of like doing that is probably what sent dozens of people into the ceiling, including this one poor sap who probably snapped his neck.
Dude, they should start putting the fucking shoulder straps in. I want to be like I'm on a roller coaster.
It's still insane to me that yellow school buses don't have seatbelts.
They have seatbelts. They have lap belts for sure.
Not in Southern California.
In New Jersey, they did.
They did not
Yeah,
here.
they didn't.
They absolutely didn't. It was just like, all right, kids, get on here.
That is crazy.
It's like hope nothing happens.
Hope you don't get Simon Birched out there.
What happens to Simon Birch? Did he die?
No, the bus goes into the. Well, he does die. The whole movie is Jim Carrey explaining to his son the story of Simon Birch.
We're gonna go into the bonus now. I'm gonna say something because it has to do with that guy on TikTok who the ice wall thing. Because I went through some more of his shit. BenandEmilShow.com. It's gonna be a good bonus.
Bye.